they're making a big deal about that it was, 2025, 225, and that adds up to 9, and now we're going to 10, which goes, really, it's a reset back to 1. So it's a real live reset, you guys. A lot of things are being aligned like that we don't know what's going to happen next. As far as is it programming? Are people being programmed how to live? Otherwise, they wouldn't live at all. And I'm pretty sure that's the truth, right? We have to kind of kickstart ourselves back up into existential reality here, But is that possible? See, I've been kind of promoting reality, and I found that in fact it's the same as what John Lennon was doing, but he called it peace. And in fact, that is what reality is. Reality is peace. Pardon me while I am playing with my kitty cats, and that's the main reason why I wanted to make this film. Plus, I wanted to flex my muscles right in front of you, and then say, well, I'm still not making any money. I'm going through something that, okay, so I'm going to be posting this like sometime in the middle of when Mars conjuncts the Sun and Venus. And it's almost with Mercury there. See, Mercury does go cazimi right at 0 degrees Aquarius, which to me, that 0 degrees points at the time when Pluto moved into Aquarius, and in fact, it's going to be conjuncting Pluto. We're going to have a Mercury Sun conjunct Pluto, but see, Pluto is at 3 degrees now, which is great. I like the way that feels myself. I will speak for the Libra generation who has just gone through 14 years of hell, but any Libra will do. But there's a whole generation of people who have kind of just, it's a rocky road, life isn't always peaches and cream, and so sometimes you have a whole decade or more of people either robbing you blind or dropping dead or both, and so then you have to be very careful because Pluto is like going down the ghetto alley. It's like, how did I get down this road here? There's no light. So you have to be your own light if you can. And Pluto will teach you that, you see. But getting back to just feeling this energy as a Martian person, we'll talk about the Mars transit that is happening with the Sun. It's conjuncting the Sun at 18 degrees. It conjuncts on the 8th of January. Well, Mars and Venus conjunct. Okay, so, yeah, right there. Yeah, it conjuncts the Sun too, at an exact degree. So this is really special. It's late enough in the Earth degree that the darned planet is trining my Venus, which is rare. I can only hope that I get a part-time job doing something I need to get a little tiny bit of income in, and I'm perfectly capable of doing that. The thing is who wants to run back out there and do it after how long? See, I've been doing that since the age 16. Doing what, Shauna? We're so interested in your career. And I'm like, no, it's well, I haven't flipped hamburgers quite yet, but I'm willing, kind of, unfortunately, much to the dismay of a lot of people watching in the background who know that I have a lot of skill sets, but it's kind of like Tesla going back and digging in a ditch when he's finding out how everybody's a wicked witch and they've got everybody dancing to the pitch. Might as well go dig in a ditch to the pitch of a wicked witch. Yeah, and you just, can you imagine that? I can. I'm experiencing something that I can only write a poetic thesis over and try and relate it to you guys, because you probably would have the dialogue for me personally, which I've heard it all before, especially the people that get closer and closer to me. They all have great idea and plan as to what to do. I mean, I could do so much, especially just let me puppet your life. And, getting back to John Lennon, how that's impossible, right? I was on to a good track there about pushing reality and or peace onto people, especially the living dead. I mean, but see, you have to be miserable enough. Sometimes, see, the problem with the living dead is that they don't even know how miserable they are. It's one of the things I was trying to tie up here with this conversation on how that some of us, artists, musicians, perhaps maybe just people that are using a creative style of living or doing a creative style of living, that, you know what, I think to date, 12:27, well, it's near 27, it's like 11 o'clock here at night. I think that humanity has slipped further into a place where a lot of the essence of the arts, like even the reason why we even storytell but play music and stuff like that, is being lost. And of course, that's always been happening, but we are seeing like a wrap up. If my generation doesn't stand up, step up. See, the thing is about all of that genre, poetry and music and art forms, dancing and expressions on stage and storytelling, is that it's morphing into just a skill set of being able to alchemize experience, but isn't it helpful to communicate and see? But if you do play in a band and or solo, better yet, but you see that's just it though. See, how do you get people to take the time to allow that space? It's creating space. So you talk about creating space. See, do you create space or is it already there? See, that's what I'm talking about. When I talk about reality, that's what it is. A lot of people don't even have that conversation. They couldn't say, I'm sorry, is this thing operating correctly? Let me just check with the sound going and everything. Sometimes it screws me up, right? And so then I'm stuck with a chintzy sound quality. So just let me do this and try and stay on the train of thought of what I was thinking here. But it's better to not have a train of thought and just know that you are going to channel something, especially if you do have an aspect that promotes that kind of activity. See, I was supposed to do something here, and I'm learning that it's nothing that you would learn in college. Getting back to Tesla over there, that says not even college people are learning how to dig in a ditch like this. So it's like, where are you going to go? There's that in between where it's just, I almost say generation jelly, but that particular inner filling of, it's not even cream really. It's more like babies. It's a circus. Circus. Sorry. The brunt of whatever is going on out there. And again, women, would you guys please slow down a bit. Have a good time first. Make sure you're having a good time in case the kids we're going to be watching doesn't have to be your actual kids either. Get some practice Make sure you are interesting. Oh boy, sorry. Boy, what kind of fucking video is this? Well, you know, I talk about these Capricornian planets, pardon me, well, it feels like, no, sometimes you just get a sensitivity in your nose or something and it feels like it's going to fall off, and you just hope, well, I hope this pain doesn't last, because if it did, I'd be put in the ambulance by fucking tomorrow. It's just a zing and then it goes away. Hi, you guys, how are you doing? I mean, I'm just gonna sit and roll with it here because these damn Capricorn planets is going right over my ascendant, and but I determined it's actually a very great time. It's a good time for the part of the organism that is able to just start hoofing it, man, and get that fire lit under its ass and start working. Yeah, I noticed that. It's like, well, we can always just go nuts with Capricorn coming on. See, it's a special Capricorn sun out of all the times that you'll ever hear me talk about the sun. Because the Venus and Mars conjunction. On what day, Shauna? What was that again? On the day of, see, they're all at 18 degrees, which is fascinating. And this is coming soon. Just a wink of an eye here, according to me. Uh, we are doing it on the 9th. Pardon the noise in the background. It's actually raining, and I put some buckets underneath the drops of the roof. I love it. It just, I love it. I can't tell you. It's like there's some bongos happening in the background, and somebody plays kind of cool. I have an Aquarius moon, and I don't know, man, what's going to happen with me. See, I think it's a good thing that Pluto is going to go over my moon. A lot of people say, oh, God, I was so miserable when Pluto went over my moon. Well, I've already had a miserable time with Saturn going over the moon. I don't think Pluto is going to be the same because I'm already Plutonian as hell. And I'm just going to eat Pluto for lunch, breakfast, and lunch and dinner and be happy with it. I will be satisfied. In fact, you will not experience better satisfying experience than coming out of the Pluto range. Babes, that's kind of the thing that we're here to do, is experience soulful things. See, that Pluto and Scorpio are the same vibrational frequency. We don't talk about Scorpio much. Why? We're talking about sex and taxes and other people's money, birth, death, mysticism. All of that taboo stuff, like, is it real? Well, look at Halloween. Why do we insist on it? And nobody even knows what that is anymore. So anyway, back to the Capricornian planets that, you know, I complain about it, but hey, it's going to be trining my Venus. Will you please understand? I kind of been talking about some things that I wanted to do as far as changes to be made around here, but I don't want to make myself vulnerable at all. Well, I bet you a lot of people just bust up. If they've taken a drink, they've spit it out by then when I have said that once again. Because I've been here for a long time, making myself vulnerable here. I was hoping that some kind of answer would come, not just for me, but for all of us, because you need help too, right? See, if we are humanity, if you're anything like me, you are humanity, and say it, say it, say it, say it! I am humanity. Can you? Can you really say that? Can you say that and feel like all fuzzy and warm inside? Like, oh God, I'm a part of this whole thing. I'm just a small part, even though it's a small part. It's fractalic, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. I was pointing out, in fact, what might be fractalic about the possibility of us being human. It's that we are advanced as humans. We have advanced into becoming human. Here I go again. But this is very real. See, we use the sky to move in and out. See, within and without. See, there's a space within and without. See, talk about like achieving peace, but I was more pointing out with this segment passage that that everybody can get on the same page with that. See, if it's so much a change from a result of having used the sky as a third-party witness, reliable, in fact, flawless. See, a child would say, let's do this. How could you prove that reality? See, it's reality. You want to get your words down. That's what I'm here to do. See, when you say reality, what we're really talking about is outer space, that place just beyond the nose. Here I go again. How many times have I done that move? Do you think that I can get AI to call all those videos up and then I'll start doing an actual playlist of a whole other channel? And some of it might make sense, but what kind of sense will it make? That's what I'm wondering. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm for sure saying that you can own a central bank and have plenty of sense there. Unlimited sense. See, the thing is can you handle freedom? The answer to most of you people who hear the word freedom is no. See, right when I said freedom, I think you see a swastika on my fucking forehead, and you want to find out what direction is the swastika facing. It's very important, but having said that though, but no, really, you don't know what to do. If you had the time to heal, you would have to, like, get a pass. See, by then, it's okay, you're fine, but don't drink alcohol all day. No, we want you to clear up. It might take a half of a whole other lifetime. What are you talking about, Shauna? Well, you are taken care of by a central banking system that pays for the thing that you have to, we all have to pay. See, this is getting pretty sketchy. It's like, well, what do you think I have to pay? Basically, there's electricity, there's the sewer. I don't know about you, but I don't have a water company. I have a sewer company. That's the obvious, yeah. And so, yeah, and services like that. See, I know I'm going basic here, and I'm not, and it doesn't sound very practical. Why, Shauna? What is it? What are you hung up on? I'm not hung up on a jack crapola. By the time we ever did singularize, having used the sky, coming to, like, again, I'm going to use singularization, that the earth is here, right? Stuff like that. Like, okay, so we know a lot of you people don't really want to walk with your bare feet on the grass. And I get it, I understand. One day you're going to want to heal, though, and there's some weird stuff that you'll have to do, and maybe that's one of those things. There's a lot of different things, but see, there's a lot of stuff you don't have to do either. I agree. You know, if you're happy where you are, fine, but just know you're free, man. You're fucking free. You don't have to think that you don't deserve what the universe says. Now, if you can admit that I'm here, then you can have all of these resources, includes the crap that they're coming up with, dishing out, how they dish out electricity, how they dish out water, how they dish out food, how they dish out entertainment. Hi, hello, how are you? See, there's some people that might be still drinking Kool-Aid out there and brushing with fluoride, and we're not even going to talk about chemtrails. I don't know. Well, watch out for stuff I do say. I noticed on the guitar playing video that I did play, that played the cover tune, the cover tunes, it says copyright, and then there's a little section that says the owner of the material says it's okay for me to use that it, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I'm glad that there's generous people like that, you know. So thanks for listening to all this. It's 222 right when I was watching it, and that's not always a good thing. This year's astrology is awesome. We already talked about the generational planets, the outer planets that move very slow. We're keeping our eye on the happy-go-lucky Gemini who is going to experience Uranus going through their sign. And see, Uranus goes into Gemini this year, I think in February or something. Let's just check again here. It goes it goes direct in February, and then I think. Okay, so sorry, I keep repeating myself, but it's a big thing. You know, we're gonna just see it go forward. I hope that you can talk about peace, babe. You know, it's never gonna go out of style to know how to find peace. As far as reality, reality is never gonna go out of style. That's what reality is. See, but what is reality? I've asked that question probably 5,000 times since I've had my social media page. It's because it's the way that you are supposed to use social media. That's what Thich Nhat Hanh said, and that's what the Dalai Lama was saying. But it does. See, they have to hand the torch over, the baton or whatever, and so I'm over here in the West pushing reality and/or peace. What I'm saying is like, oh, you can have it for free, you know. Yeah. But you have to know what it is. See, a lot of people don't know what peace is, you know, and then say, well, it's reality, and then they don't know what that is. So I say, remember, you can go there. It's right. I mean, if you have a spacesuit, you're there now. Hold on to your britches, babes. What I mean is, a lot of minds, they don't like it. They do not like reality. And so, what the fuck are we gonna do about that? There's hardly anything we can do but build like a gymnasium or more like a gauntlet. Welcome to the human maze, the world out there. But wouldn't you love to be able to click out and say, excuse me, but I am not into Maya so much. Maya means illusion, and it's the illusion of mind. The mind has a desire to be more real. More real than what? More Ria than Ria itself. I guess we have 85 years to talk about, like, well, have you graduated yet into outer space? What does that mean? Well, that's what human beings are doing here. See, I say human beings, but Dolores, is that her name, Dolores Cannon? Thank God that there's crazy women out there, and she is stone cold. I mean, she is, watch out for her. You know, you can see that she's fucking pissed, but she painted her eyebrows to go a certain way, but you can see her actual expression is like, she is like, anyway, worse than me. But you figure, there you go. That person is actual sanity. Sanity. I'll remind you the look of sanity. It might come out by the time of the middle of the year. Yeah, you'll know it perfectly fine. Sanity look like this. That's sanity for you. That's who's going to be peeking out saying, "Fucking, are you kidding me?" Whoa! You don't use the sky as a reliable third-party witness because the government does. The cameras all around. What the fuck happened to you? Hope you didn't have children. In case the kids were watching, really, they know what I mean, Dave. They're not. They're gonna say, "What are you saying?" Yeah. See, the problem with Shauna here is that she's completely isolated. Yeah. And but there's a reason. There's a profoundly great reason for that. But here's the thing: is Shauna's not making any money in it, and that's horrible. Ouch. I'm getting some stuff into me, you know, like I'm getting wood. I'm getting what I can into me without making money. Isn't that weird? What I mean is, I don't have a mint machine. I don't have the ink. I don't have any of the material. You don't make any money either. So back to just trying to get some of it. Somebody's created a game for us to play, and I was queuing in on something. It's kind of fragmented, though, right? What is this? A comedy? Who is this person? Why isn't she serious? You know, I have Venus in Virgo in the 6th house, and I just go like this, that I get a job offering by the middle of January. But from somebody or something, some group or whatever, that says, well, you're what you study, your skill sets, which is very vast. I can learn anything, to tell you the truth. It's just a matter of like, does it bring me joy? Is it something that I feel like that I want to do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've all, by the time we're 60 or something like that, or 50, we can all say that we've all worked at the factory kind of setting where it's just very routine, right? And you like the people. The reason why you did it for 20 years or something like that is because you like the people, that own the business or that were there, or you, it's just not that you like them, but you can tolerate them. I don't know, but see, after a while though, babes, after a while doing the same thing over and over again, right? Did you get sick to your stomach? I did. I tried to hang in there, but no. And I thought, oh, me spirit. Ooh. But there's many, that was just one job, right? You want to not put all of your eggs in one basket. And believe me, I don't do any of that with. See, I'm a creative person. I don't make money. I'm a woman. Do I have to start talking about this? Minute 29, and I'll make sure it's another hour-long video, but I have been editing and trying to make it have a little bit of a rhyme and reason, but I have noticed something. Not sure if the Venus and Mars moving into the Sun in Capricorn is going to like just dress them up in a huge Capricornian concern that talks about our resources and how we use them. Capricorn says literally, their key words is I use. Who wants to have that? But no, it's actually, at least it's not I abuse, really. So, and in the word use, there's the you, like you and me. Huh? Sounds like that, right? Coincidence. But then there's us. Hey, who's in use but us, baby? So we don't need money. See, we don't need it after a while when we are tapped into our use. But it has to do with us for sure. See, it has to do with just knowing how it really is, how that it really is. If we are to become more and more aware of each other as being here, like as who we are. See, so, but right now we're talking about hunkering down and being resilient because of what? You know about the Agenda 2130, right? And how, like, well, whatever happened with that? Oh, give it some time. There's some rumors going around that next year, I mean, it's going to try and get really happy. I'm telling you, cosmically, with Pluto and Uranus trining each other, Aquarius, Pluto, Gemini, Uranus, setting off a whole generation, trining, causing a grand trine. The uplift and the threat is that this one generation, my generation, the Libra generation, the generation that says, I love, which indeed it's pointing at, okay, I balance, it's pointing at better than AI. See, artificial intelligence is your narcissist. I talked about this, right? And they are really awesome because they copy and they mimic what it's like to be human. They mimic the human response system. They do. That's what's up with them. See, but they can't mimic the self-organizing system that the human being becomes when they are aware and using the sky and the truth as, okay, the truth is God, babes. See, this is the thing, is that they're trying to hijack all this thing, and it's like they're trying to get a one world God and a one world army, therefore, and stuff like that. And it's like, watch out! Is it Antichrist or is it not? Well, do you even know what Antichrist means? I'm about to get my freaking writing board out here and remind you what is in the word Antichrist. Or just do meanings, babes. It's very important that you start looking into meanings. Like, pull the words apart. Did I tell you that part? Pull the words apart. If there's two words there, pull them apart. Put one up and one down, and just make sure that the alliances up there sees that you see that there's two words there, and it's time to have a conversation. It's time to talk. It's time to talk. It really is just time to talk. I was thinking about talking today. It's like how important it is to talk and communicate, because we are looking at entire generations, because they practice being silent for some reason. They just don't know how to fucking communicate. Do you want us to cut your tongue out and sew your lips up and say, there's other people around here that are going to be a lot more of some fucking use? What the fuck do they do? Because, there's a part of the organism that's just going to start waking up, and it's going to start talking about talking, and it's coming up now, babe. We haven't seen this ever happen. A grand trine is going to be happening. Every time a planet, even the moon, goes into Libra, it's going to set off this beautiful grand trine with Uranus and Pluto. Pluto is asking for us to be truthful. It's truth time for all of humanity, and I am Plutonian people that talk about truth and reality, and God. I like to say it like that, right? God. But really, that's the O that you want to worry about, right? You want to really just look at that. And what is that? Outer space oxygen. Babes, I'm going to talk to you about some stuff before I turn 60, at least, it's like, when are we going to just finally write a book? I'm like, really. But, babes, you better hope I don't wait. Don't wait to say what you're experiencing here and just log in. So many people will appreciate it. What are you saying on your channel? Nothing? Huh, that's too bad. Because I'm going to get all of the one. Yeah, money, and the word money is just the word one. If you could just look at the rules there. It says you become one and all of it can be yours. Otherwise, what are you fucking guys doing again, huh? What's that over there? Oh, wow. Comment section down below. I'm waiting for a woman to speak up. With the Capricorn planets, we have it opposing Jupiter. So for all of us, it's quite, that's very steamy. Yeah, when Mars opposes Jupiter, I hope you guys have an outlet physically, you know what I mean? I've been getting more into exercises and stuff, and you'll see that I'm just, for everybody, Capricorn is going to ask for us to start dressing nicer while we go to court. Or anytime, really. Just make sure you walk out the door and that you're wearing your best, threads. I don't know why. Not if you're digging in a damn garden like I'm always doing. You don't want to do that. It's the funniest thing around here in the mountains. The women, I mean, anybody that wants to wear nice shoes, good luck. They're done after 2 days. You can go and feed the chickens and you do this and that and rake. You better have had taken off those shoes and put them in a glass case over there. Thank God for editing. I didn't want to say any of that. What I was trying to talk about is the Jupiter, Mars, and Venus opposition. It's kind of awkward with that. It's kind of weird. If you ask me, it's just because Jupiter, even though it's at home in Cancer there, it's a big, big, nurturing situation. Everybody's really getting into their nurturing space. And so a balance needs to be found between like work and home, I'm sure of it. Yeah, because Capricorn is the ambition to get the goal, achieve it, and to work and get the goal achieved. And then it seems like that Cancer is the goal, is to go home and feel nurtured and protected. Whatever is nurturing you, right, is what money can buy. And so it's going to be a strange, hopefully you can all um, experience abundance. And pray for me, because I don't do good with the I just need to get out of thinking of it bad. But I think that I'm on the right track of just kind of protesting and saying, well, I'm more of a creative person, and when I have to stop and break up my whole sense of self, I guess, to go and make money. First of all, again, nobody makes money, you know. Somebody has a special machine, and it's certainly not anybody that you know next door or me, and so